Hey guys, welcome to Etsy Shop Reviews. This is episode number 89. We're going to be taking a look at a print-on-demand shop that's selling a lot of apparel products, and let's see what they did well, let's see what they can improve upon, and all of us get better together. So let's get to it. All right, the shop we're looking at today is the Hedgehog Company. Star seller, 280 sales, average 5-star review. Well done. Your shop banner is awesome. You've got your 30% off holiday sale being advertised. You're advertising quick shipping, and you're advertising some of your products. So I would say a great usage of your banner space there. Let's look. Okay, you have 684 products available for sale. So you've definitely been putting in the work. Your featured items here, let's see, sweatshirt, and Christmas ornament. So you're moving with the seasons. That's always good, right? When it gets to be fall, we want to transition primarily, away from prioritizing t-shirts into prioritizing the cold gear like sweatshirts. That makes sense. And you've got some Christmas ornaments as well, which we know are already, beginning to sell. In terms of pricing, you've got some really competitive list pricing, which is always good. When we study the best sellers that might sell 1,000 units a week, which there are products on Etsy doing that, they almost always have a really low list price, even if ultimately, it's a little bit misleading. That's kind of playing the game that Etsy wants us to play. So I like the low list price there. One thing I'll say is, like, if you're going to put text in your primary thumbnails, just make sure it's not getting cropped out. I'm trying to point to it over my shoulder here, but it says shit. That's all we can see. So it looks like it got cropped out here. And I would just find a standardized, not find, but like make your own or find a standardized primary product template for all products. So for your Christmas ornaments, at least have one. If you want to mix it up and do multiple, that's also fine. But I would do, one really good one where the text is going to find its way into the primary portion, because you know how it can be cropped, right? Like this is your primary image. However, it looks like you probably manually cropped it, I would guess, to get it looking like this. Also, I don't want to, make it too much about a design review with 700 products in your shop. Just being honest, like there's a lot of white space in this ornament, like a lot of white space. You could probably introduce other elements and stuff like that, but this one that you're leading with as your primary looks incomplete with, probably 70% white space. So something that you could probably improve. I do like that you're offering personalization, and you've even got like the step-by-steps and whatnot. Just being nitpicky again on the font using the font used to put these instructions has some very thin lines, and like I don't have like eyesight problems, knock on wood. My eyesight is good, but I'm like looking at it and it looks weird. It's like my brain is like, what is this language? Oh, it's English. But like some of the lines are so thin. I don't know. So perhaps maybe just consider, like, there's nothing wrong with using Arial. You know what I'm saying? Like as a font for writing out instructions. You can literally use any font you want. I didn't like that font, just saying. What else do you have going on here? T-shirts. Some of these renderings look unnatural. I don't think that's a huge deal on Etsy. Like, I really don't think it's a preventative unless you get into the realm of nearing the top of page 1 in really competitive keywords. At that point, you really get into the 1 percentile, like fringe, like things that you can adjust, right? Like, I don't think this really looks like a supernatural print. Like, I don't think any print in real life would probably look like that mock-up, and our brains are probably trained to spot that. So I don't know, that mock-up doesn't look supernatural, and then some of these don't look completely natural, like all these thankfuls. In terms of design, again, I mean, this is just super crowded, like super crowded. It looks like your printer is only able to print like that area on a shirt, even though it can actually print this whole area. So I would recommend just, I always say, like, rather than listening to talking heads on a screen, aka me right now, just research the best sellers on Etsy for their design, with an eye for design. I'm not saying, like, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe this is based on like some style or some trend that I've just never seen, but like, you typically can, you know what I mean? And even like regarding ratios, like the word thankful and the size of that block of text, you can skew the size of other elements in the design relative to the size of thankful. I think it's like, isn't this like the Fibonacci like ratio type thing? Like there's like literal ratios that you can use that are aesthetically pleasing to the human eyes, right? I would, you don't have to go that deep, I guess, but it's kind of like saying, I made the word thankful as big as it is. I will make the word underneath it 50% of that. That's typically a nice ratio, 2 to 1, as just a starter. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, again, you can increase the vertical spacing as well, unless this is something I missed. Colors, a lot of design. I mean, besides the design, everything looks pretty good that I've seen. Like great, listing templated images and whatnot. By the way, this font, easy to read. When I was kind of nitpicky about the earlier fonts, like this right here, easy to read. Perfect example of what I think is good versus, this font again, the super thin lines. It's just weird. It doesn't render correctly in my mind. Got the flat mockups there with the rolled sleeves that we know were super popular. Be super careful. If you're using opacity, you're most likely, I'm not like an expert when it comes to printing, but I have been doing this for like 6 years, over 6 years now. Like if you're using opacity in your designs and lessening it less than 100%, it's almost never I don't know if it ever is actually something that's viable. I think you're actually never supposed to do that. You're supposed to just like change the hue of the colors. So like you can reduce the color depth of this solid orange right here to get a different orange for your, above and above, for the 2Gs above and above. But reducing the opacity is something that I'm pretty sure you should never ever do, because the output is not gonna look right. It's gonna, yeah. So anyways, don't mess with opacity. But you already got your eyes set on Christmas. It's funny because I'm currently selling Thanksgiving products in my shop, and I can't even spend the full budget allotment. And a lot of these, it's just the demand isn't there yet. So we're 2 months out for Christmas and we're already working on Christmas. There's nothing wrong with that. There are Christmas products that are selling, but if you're gonna jump into Christmas super early, I would definitely be in like the highest priority, highest demand niches and less of the fringes. Okay, that's what I would personally recommend. The ornaments with personalization, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great idea. I think like even just adding like a decorative element in a circular, like just to add a decorative element to the outside of the circle, something to make your designs look fuller and more complete, I would highly recommend. You could go into Kittl and go to elements, and I'm sure you'll find something. They literally have a section called ornament, which is not meant to be for Christmas ornaments, but if you go there, I'll bet you can find something that you can add to your ornament designs to enhance them, because it's just a lot of white space, a lot of white space. It is also possible to add a background design, and then just, as long as you're good with, how to separate foreground elements, like the text that you've got from the background, that's another way of making your ornament designs look fuller. Okay, so you've got some winners here. These two ornaments look great. I would just do more like this. I think these look really good. So yeah, you got this. I would stick to more like those designs. Beyond that, you got all good pricing. It looks like you've got good, I think really just like niche selection. Be in the highly competitive niches, the really high demand niches, especially when you're out a couple months ahead of like Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc. Design perspective, I would just consider again reviewing bestsellers, because you typically don't see like this approach. But I'm also not trying to say, because it's obviously subjective, that I know everything, but like I personally never really see designs where you're like using the letter spacing to normalize the width. So I wouldn't do that personally. But this does look good. We know that this style also does really well. Be careful with the Disney font. I might have spotted it there. Yeah, that looks like I could be wrong. If that's not the Disney font, then never mind. Just be careful with anything that looks like it, because you don't want that. You don't want that smoke on your Etsy shop. That could be bad. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely really just, if you're gonna, because you have 700 designs, if you're gonna make more, give a long, hard thought to designing like this. Because when I see stuff like this with the letter spacing like that, I'm thinking that there's like, this is just honestly the honest truth. You know how like sometimes serial killers and psychopaths like will leave manifestos on the wall, you know what I mean, written in like some weird code or something like that? Didn't the Unabomber have like everything written in code? That's what pops into my mind when I see letter spacing like this. I'm thinking that somebody's got some crazy idea that, you know what I mean, that they can't necessarily translate into writing, so you get some weird like output. I think, okay, see, and then you got signs like this that look great. You know what I mean? All of these are just more along the lines of what we know works. And sometimes it can be that simple. You know what I mean? You can enter the high demand niches with simple text only designs, a beautiful font, great vertical line spacing, even though it's not perfect. Somehow there is, like, look at the line spacing there and then look at the line spacing here. It's inconsistent. As long as you tighten that up, stuff like that, that's the way. You know what I mean? And then get good product mockups like this one that we know are working. When we study the bestsellers, we know that the flat mockups with the rolled sleeves are killing it this year. So I got faith that you're going to have a big Q4, that next time we check in on the shop, you'll go from, what was it, 280 sales, hopefully double that minimum in November, December. That would be amazing. The personalized ornaments, you're going to kill it with that. again, design's subjective. I know I picked apart the design aspect in this review, but I think, you know, again, like just study the bestsellers. That's typically, I'm not saying copy them, just study them, see what they do. What color schemes are they using? What types of fonts are they using? How do they draw attention to the fact that this is a personalized ornament so that at a glance, when someone sees their listing, amidst a sea of, you know, 80 others, that they click that one and not the other ones. You know what I mean? All those little things, like I always study and evaluate and try to figure out what it is they're doing well that's resonating with the audience that I can learn from and replicate and integrate into my listings. Anyways, guys, hope you found this shop review helpful. Again, I will link to the Hedgehog company in the description in case you want to go check out their Etsy shop. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new top 5 niches of the week video.